This is Land of Havilah, Psalm 4. It's 8 verses. Verse 1. For the chief musician on stringed instruments, a psalm by David. Answer me when I call, God of my righteousness. Give me relief from my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. You sons of men, how long shall my glory be turned into dishonor? Will you love vanity and seek after falsehood? Selah. But know that Yahweh has set apart for himself him who is godly. Yahweh will hear when I call to him. Stand in awe and don't sin. Search your own heart on your bed and be still. Selah. Offer the sacrifices of the righteous. Put your trust in Yahweh. Many say, who'll show us any good? Yahweh, let the light of your face shine on us. You've put gladness in my heart more than when their grain and their new wine are increased. In peace I will both lay myself down and sleep, for you, Yahweh alone, make me live in safety. Comment: this psalm's in the voice of David or of any godly person, with the exception of verse 2, which is in the voice of God. In verse 1, David prays, Answer me, God, and immediately in verse 2, God answers with two questions. Question 1, how long shall my glory be turned into dishonor? And question 2 is related, will you love vanity and seek after falsehood? Then Selah, which we'll take to mean it's time to meditate on those questions. After a little thought, it's obvious that God's feeling frustrated with man. He's glorious, but men are dishonoring him by failing to be impressed. They chase after vanity and falsehood instead. We might draw an analogy of a children's playground strewn with jewels everywhere, but the children are playing with dirt. Men seek vanity and falsehood rather than God. God's not emotionally needy that he needs to be noticed. We're needy that we need to notice him. In verse 3, Yahweh has set apart for himself him who is godly and will hear him when he calls. God's noticing who's chasing after what and places those who chase him in a separate category. He hears them when they call. In verse 4, contemplation of God doesn't come naturally to man. He's too shallow to appreciate God unless he consciously makes an effort. When he does, he'll stand in awe and won't sin. A person ought to lie on his bed, be still, and contemplate God. In verse 5, man ought to offer the sacrifices of the righteous. He'll do so naturally if he contemplates God. He'll automatically stop chasing after vanity and be interested in higher things. In verse 6, many say, who'll show us any good? Men are the same today as they were 3,000 years ago, but today we ask the same question with our electronic devices. We wear out the channel changer or the mouse or the screen of our phone hoping somebody will show us something good, anything good, something worth our time and attention. How long will we chase after vanity? We know where to find something good. When we go there, Yahweh's face will shine on us in verse 6. In verses 7 and 8, David wraps it up on a positive note as usual, because when we bring God into our contemplations, as David just did, it always brings us to a good spot. He says, You've put gladness in my heart. I'll both lie down and sleep because you keep me safe. There's nothing in the night to be anxious about, and keep him awake. Psalm 5 is next.